Have you ever noticed that every country on the planet has been trying to transform the image we have of forest for more than 2 decades? In the past, these natural lands were known as the lair of the dark, the place where people disappeared, the den where the most terrible monsters lived, and where all kinds of murders took place. However, nowadays, many tourist packages sell this destination as a place to enjoy a walk, to go camping, or to coexist with the harmless nature. Their eagerness to commercialize the forest has been growing, but they have forgotten one important issue. The forests are dangerous, and if you keep watching, today you'll learn 3 stories that will make you understand why you should stay away from them without even hesitating. Number 3. Ghostly attacks in Epping Forest. London is a place that rarely disappoints as a tourist destination. It offers all the possibilities to attract visitors, and it welcomes millions of people in its streets every year. However, there's a place on the outskirts of this city that has captivated many since 1908. It is Epping Forest, an ancient and solemn place where the world takes on an intense emerald color in all directions. People go there trying to escape the hustle and bustle of city life, probably unaware of the strange ghostly hauntings recorded in the area. The first victims to report these strange occurrences were a trio consisting of a man and 2 women who were walking through the town of Loughton around 11 p.m. when a strange invisible force knocked them down with a blow to the face. The trio was bewildered. There wasn't a single person in the whole place, and although they investigated all around, they didn't get any results. 2 nights later, a man was walking in the same area around 10 o'clock at night when a blow between his shoulder blades knocked him to the ground. Completely terrified because no one was around him, he fled in desperation to the police and reported what had happened. The next night, a police officer was sent to investigate the assaults. He hid behind bushes and trees, hoping to find some ruffian or a person who was throwing stones without anyone seeing him. But then, while waiting, the officer received a blow that knocked him out. When he awoke, he was dazed, but with all his belongings. Whoever was responsible had not even approached him. However, the officer discovered something scary. His helmet had fallen a few centimeters away from him, but when he lifted it, he discovered deep claw marks. How was that possible? It didn't make sense, but it had happened. Since then, attacks have been recorded in this mysterious forest, and the legends about what is causing them are becoming more and more unusual. Most people are convinced that they are mysterious ghosts that have been roaming the area since ancient times. But even today, when people prowl the area at night, they continue to record deadly attacks that make them wish they never went near this mysterious forest again. Number 2. A mystery killer. When it comes to mysteries in the woods, they come in all shapes and colors, but very few come from the voice of a U.S. president. However, in 1890, President Theodore Roosevelt devoted a few pages to discussing a strange event recorded by one of his closest friends. The book is called The Wilderness Hunter, and the story it tells is intriguing. It all begins with a young mountain hunter named Bowman, who was with his companion in the vicinity of the Wisdom River. The hunting session from that day wasn't successful, so they decided to go beyond the areas they were used to. They went into one of the luscious forests in the area, hoping that the quiet environment would attract a large amount of prey. However, as they walked through the lonely meadow, Bowman remembered that a year earlier, that area had been the site of the murder of a hunter from his village. As he told his friend, he also remembered other murders that had also occurred there. Immediately, they both felt quite vulnerable and began to back away slowly, rifles loaded. But then a strange sound alerted them. It was a heavy footstep, like a large animal running. An instant later, the air was permeated with a strange rotting aroma, and amidst the leafy trees and dense bushes, the dark and chilling figure emerged, forcing Bowman to shoot. The sound echoed through the forest, but it missed its target. The beast disappeared instantly, but the hunters saw it again as they fled the scene. Bowman could distinguish that the creature was similar to a man. It walked on its 2 legs, was covered with hair, had the face of an ape, and the arms the size of an oak tree. It was certainly terrifying, but everything got worse when one arm blocked his friend's path and disappeared into the forest. Bowman tried to go after his friend and save him, so he scoured the area with a loaded rifle, but there was no way to find the creature. Only 3 days later, the authorities in the area managed to find his friend's body. The body was torn to pieces, had deep wounds and scratches, and the throat was slit. Stories similar to this one abound in the area. All survivors seem to agree on the creature's appearance, although it has never been captured. Number 1. The Bigfoot Attack. There are popular creatures that inhabit the woods, and we all assume they are only fiction to catch the attention of fools. But everything changes when we are the protagonist of these stories that supposedly didn't exist. This story starts with a group of friends in the summer of 1924, when they were doing important work in the area comprising Mount St. Helens in Skamania County, Washington. The group consisted of Marion and Roy Smith, Fred Beck, Gabe Lefevre, and John Peterson, all colleagues that were passionate about their work, which led them to stay in a small cabin built in the area for a project. During the first week, the team did not register any anomalous situation, although it was undeniable that when the sun went down, they always felt observed and heard some strange noises. But everything turned into a real nightmare on the 8th day of the project. That morning, while Roy Smith was investigating the forest surroundings, he came across footprints that were at least 3 times the size of the average person's footprint. That struck him as unusual, but the truly horrible thing came hours later, when they were returning to the cabin and a strange figure emerged in the middle of the road. At first, it looked like a man of at least 2 meters, with abundant hair and a face with small eyes and a big mouth. The creature ran towards them emitting a scream, but before it could catch them, Fred fired his rifle and managed to drive the beast back. The creature disappeared into the middle of the forest, leaving a trail of slimy brownish blood. The group returned to the cabin completely terrified and decided that they would leave the place the next morning. However, they would never forget that last night. In the middle of the night, a powerful knock woke them all up. The sound came from the roof, but then moved to the windows and the door. There was someone really upset outside, and no one had any doubt of who it was. Slowly, the group walked out the back door of the cabin with the intention of surprising the creature. But in the darkness, the monster fell on them, knocking Marion unconscious and breaking Roy's leg. The creature attacked with unimaginable violence, and they only managed to stop it by shooting at it. But the bullets could not penetrate the skin. It was as if they did not hurt it. Even so, the powerful sound of the weapons alerted the beast, which disappeared, leaving 3 members of the team unconscious and injured at the scene. In the early morning hours, the group returned to the city, determined to never return to the forest. The origin of the creature was never really known, but it wasn't the last time it attacked visitors of the site. Like many other places, the forests hide indecipherable mysteries that very few people manage to understand. However, these stories are not mere fables, but are supported by real accounts and testimonies that warn of the dangers to which anyone could expose themselves. However, if you still believe that the mountains, forests, or even the sea are still an ideal place to go on vacation, perhaps you should check out the following videos and discover that your plans might change, especially if you happen to encounter one of these beasts.